Hi everybody, this is Fred from Game Focus, and this is a Final Focus. A Final Focus is a very simple video, and we talk about a game we played on Game Focus, actually a game that we reviewed. And today I'm going to be talking with DJ from Game Focus, and he was the one doing the review for us. So, DJ, how are you doing, man?
I'm doing excellent, Fred.
I'm glad to have you with me today, and we're going to be talking about a golf game. Do we still have golf games out there?
It's been a while. I think I was thinking back that the last Tiger Woods game was 2012.
Yeah,
I believe so. It's been a while.
It's been a while. So, tell me about the game. First of all, before giving your real impression about the game, tell me about what is the golf club.
Well, the golf club is, on one hand, your typical golf simulation. The controls are back and forth on the right stick, kind of your Tiger Woods controls or outlaw golf controls. But one thing that they really focus on with the golf club is the integration of the social aspects of the game. Being able to create your own courses, share those with friends, and hit the links with your friends too.
And it's a Canadian studio, isn't it?
It is, yeah, out of Nova Scotia. And some of their previous work, HB Studios, some of their previous work isn't the most Canadian of games. They worked on some cricket and rugby titles for EA previously.
So, and tell me about the platforms. It's available on Xbox One, PS4.
Yeah, available for download. I guess they're trying to hit perhaps that AA pricing. It's retailing for download at $39.99.
Wow. Okay. So, how did you approach that game, knowing that it's a year where we don't have Tiger Woods PGA Tour in hands, and so do we have to give it like a special treatment? How did you approach that game?
Yeah, that's a good question, because the absence of any competition, sometimes without competition you almost can judge a game more harshly. Sometimes I think competition makes all games better. What really drew me into the experience quickly, though, was the fact that it isn't a clone of Tiger Woods, and
No.
it isn't the same game.
No, not at all.
That we've been seeing for a decade.
That's
from
very
EA
true.
Sports.
Very true. It's unique in various ways, and some good and some not. I mean, I read, by the way, your review, your complete review, and I agree for many points you had, and one being the commentators. That was really strange. I mean, they not very serious in many ways.
And I'm still a little baffled with the commentator. I'm not sure if it was someone trying to be funny, or like what the direction was, but it was just kind of like you're playing golf with real life and got stuck with some guy who just talks too much, and maybe kind of states the obvious, and has a few witty comments here and there, but one good comment for 9 mediocre ones, I would say, is probably his average.
Yeah. But besides that, tell us about the controls, because for me, I think there was something there. Was this enough? Maybe not, but there was something about those controls.
I think that the golf club has some of the strongest golfing controls of any title that's out there. I've always enjoyed the back and forth on the stick, as opposed to the 3 button presses that you got with there's a couple of other franchises, Hot Shots. So I've always enjoyed that, but the one thing that HB Studios really brought to the game was that they removed any sort of HUD to give you an idea of the power of your swing. You had to do it completely by feel and by the animation of the golfer on the screen.
Because
And
DJ in real life, you don't have a HUD, right? I mean,
yeah,
you need to make your shot the way you think it should be done. So I think in the game, that's in this game, that's what he wanted to achieve, trying to make you gauge the power of your shot, and but to some it can be a very hard task.
yeah, and I think it's one of those frustration things in real golf as well. Is that it's very hard to at times to gauge distance.
Yes.
And you really can end up with an overshot or an undershot. Um, Overall, during most of my play, I thought that my intuition was good enough in the feel of the controls to be able to hit a good shot. I did have some problems with the short game though. When you had a very short chip
Yes.
to get it onto the green, there was a whole lot of times I just blasted that ball,
I
you know,
I
three
had
times
some
further.
major problems to read the green without all the information we usually get in a, for example, in a Tiger Wood game. I missed a lot of those shots from close to the pin. And did you experience that as well, or?
Well, I thought the putting was definitely the least forgiving,
Mm.
and uh, the distance, gauging the distance of a shot was certainly a lot more challenging
Oh
with the
yeah.
putting as well. Yeah.
So, time is running out. Tell me about the pros and the cons and your final score of that game, and maybe a last stop for those who are not sure about that game, if they should buy it or not, should wait, or what's the strongest aspect of that game.
Well, I think one of the pros that we hadn't touched upon yet, because I really think when it comes down to it that the controls are brilliant. They could use a little refining, but they're great. But this game has a course creator, which is unbelievable. You
Oh yeah.
can literally in 5 minutes have a rough template of the course of your dreams, and then you have all of the tools available to change the elevation of any part of the
Everything,
course.
the lakes, everything.
Absolutely. And, the location of the sand traps, and, you can try to make a real professional course, some professional quality, or you have the option of making just the craziest, zaniest course that is just, a pure fun to
Yeah,
play.
we've all seen golf course with like three ships and like 11 sand traps and
Uh,
things very crazy that you wouldn't see in the PGA, of course. And have you tried those courses created by the people online?
I have, yeah. When I first got in that course creator, the first thing I did is, I'm raising the tee 200 feet into the air, and I'm raising the green 200 feet in the air, and it's just going to be a giant valley in between. And I was really, really looking forward to being able to play that hole. And a lot of people with a lot greater imaginations than mine have come up with some fantastic courses. When you were asking in regards to a couple of the cons, I think the biggest con is the lack of any sort of career in the game. There's no sense of progression. There's no building upon your skills, and I think that it's almost imperative that any sports game has that these days.
You're right.
You need that thing that's going to keep bringing you back. Like you said, you've played it, Fred. Do you foresee yourself playing this game in 6 months?
No, you see, at some point I was asking myself, I think we all know that the EA sports game went a little bit too far sometime in all of those sub menus of menus of sub menus of menus. It it's sometimes it's too much for what we do with a game, but between too much and not enough, there's a big margin, and that's what I felt playing that game. I thought something was missing. If I want to play just with my friends, that would be that game is pretty straightforward. You just play and that's it. But again, the price is not. I mean, the price is on that scale. It's not a full price.
That's right.
So I judged it like that way. I just said, okay, it's almost maybe not half. I think it's 39.
39.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's okay. The price is okay. So I thought the game was doing a pretty good job. On my side, I gave it a 7.5, and I know your score is a little bit lower than mine, right?
I went with a 7. Yes.
You went with 7, and I think it's well deserved. I think your score is maybe closer to what I should have done, but you know, I think as I had some fun with the game, and that the fun factor was there, so I gave it a 7.5. But then I realized that I'm among the most generous guys out there. I saw on Metacritics and some other sites that the game received a pretty cold welcome.
Well, I think that they have some strong mechanics that they can certainly build upon.
Yes.
And it's just, you know, integrating something that's going to keep you coming back beyond, you know, really with that game, you have to rely on having friends that have the game as well.
Yes.
And, you know, if that's your thing of competing in your sports games against your friends, then, you know, this might be the perfect game for you. But if you're looking for something, you know, deeper and a solitary experience, that's where I think that the game's lacking.
So I guess that's our final focus on the Golf Club. That's a game that is available right now, $39 a downloadable game. It's from a Canadian studio, so if you like golf and you don't have anything to play, so why don't you should try it. And I sure hope this developer will not stop there and will build on this one to make another one maybe better than this one. So DJ, for your complete review, we invite the people to go on gamefocus.ca, and your whole review is there, and people can read it, can exchange with you also on the comments below, and I'm sure you're going to be able to answer to those people if they have a question, right?
Absolutely.
Thank you very much for your time, and I don't know when we're going to talk again. I guess on your next review.
Sounds good, Fred.
Bye bye.
All right, bye.